In another sign the party is changing, a rather liberal Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger threw his support behind Senator John McCain today. Joel Mowbray is a syndicated columnist for the conservative blog townhall.com. Carl Jeffers is an editorial contributor to the Seattle Times and the liberal blog Huffington Post, as well as a radio talk show host. Guys, nice to see you both today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so Joel, the Republican Party here changing. You've got all these young voters out there. And as I said, the two divergent groups. One who really probably are socially liberal. They just want the government to stay out of their bank accounts. The others who are very motivated by socially responsible causes. What do you make of this? And can they unite behind John McCain or Mitt Romney?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't say that they're socially liberal as much as socially libertarian. They just don't see the relevance of government on social issues. And as for the evangelicals, yeah, I mean, I think you have a lot of foot soldiers for the conservative movement who've grown up, who are very dedicated and activist in their political causes in their 20s, which is unusual historically going back. Look, Obama, if he gets the Democratic nomination, he's going to galvanize the young voters like no one else has in the Democratic side since 1992.
But even the young voters who don't like paying taxes?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going to get all of them, but he's going to get a lot more than otherwise. And right now the GOP is doing its own herding of cats, trying to get its young voters to show up. I think the evangelical voters will. But as for people who detest taxes and they want to vote for fiscal conservative issues, you know, these people tend to be more libertarian in their outlook. And so the question is, do they really think their vote's going to matter in impacting government? And I'm not sure that they are. And if they see John McCain, look, John McCain is going to be less offensive to them certainly than Hillary Clinton, probably significantly less so as well than Barack Obama. But at the end of the day, the question is, can McCain inspire people like that to come out, or the evangelical voters? It's not clear, despite his socially conservative record in 20 years in the House and Senate.
All right, well said, Joel. Carl, when we're looking at what the Democrats typically stood for, you could always turn to the Democrats for things like global warming and poverty. But just today, when he was getting the endorsement from a former movie star with a New York City mayor by his side, you saw John McCain giving a speech about the environment. Is it possible that McCain could steal a lot of Democratic votes because of those stances?
Well, I think that ordinarily you would say that John McCain, because he traditionally appealed to independents and moderates, would have had a much more significant advantage in terms of his race for the Republican nomination. But in terms of the general election, regardless of whether it's Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, John McCain will have a very difficult time attracting independents and attracting moderates. And as for the young people within the Republican Party, the reality is most young voters of either party really aren't that concerned about taxes because they aren't paying that many, in terms of taxes. They really aren't.
Yeah, it depends on what young is.
Into the work stream.
It depends on how you define young in those cases. Young in college, not paying taxes. 25, you probably are, and you're probably paying out the wazoo. That being said, have you ever noticed, Carl, when you go out to these campaign events and John McCain's there, young people are really excited about this guy who is old enough to be their grandfather? It's not just Obama who is motivating young people.
Well, I think there is, without question, by comparison to the other Republicans, young people are more centrist and they are more moderate. And John McCain, of all the Republicans, has represented the most moderate, the most centrist position. In fact, that is one of the reasons why he's having such a difficult time with the conservative core of the party, because they feel that he's a Democrat in disguise. And I, however, do not fear having Obama or Clinton having to compete with the young vote in terms of the fall election, even with John McCain as the Republican nominee.
Carl, Joel, nice to have you guys with me today. Thank you.
Thank you.